Hello guys, in this video, me and my friends are gonna talk about cells. So first thing first, what is a cell? The cell is the smallest functional unit and the basic of life. In these cells, there are small things called organelle. Organelle can vary between the plant and the animal cells, but the two of them share some similar organelles, such as the cell membrane, the, the mitochondria, the nucleus, the Golgi apparatus, the ER or endoplasmic reticulum, and lastly, the cytoplasm. Now I'm gonna talk about each of these organelles' function. So first, we have the cell membrane. The cell membrane is a partially permeable layer that surrounds the cell and controls the exchange between cell itself with the surroundings. The nucleus contains chromosomes and chromatin. The nucleolus and its envelope have small pores that allow and control exchange between nucleus and cytoplasm. The endoplasmic reticulum, aka ER, is a flattened sac, usually around the nucleus of an eukaryotic cell. There are two types of ER, the smooth and the rough. The rough ER has ribosomes inside them for protein synthesis, while the smooth ER makes lipids and steroids. Ribosomes is a really small organelle that has two subunits, the small and the large. Ribosomes is measured in S units, and in the cells there are two types of ribosomes, the 70S and the 80S. Next, the Golgi apparatus is a flattened sac called cisternae, and vesicles can go in and out at the other end, becoming Golgi vesicles. Golgi apparatus is responsible for the making of lysosomes, the secretion of the cell, etc. The lysosomes are round sacs surrounded by a single membrane and only present in animal cells. The lysosomes contain hydrolytic enzymes for digestion of an unwanted substances or old organelles. Next, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and has a double membrane. Mitochondria is responsible for aerobic respiration, which results in the form of ATP or adenosine triphosphate. And next is the centriole. It's the formation of three microtubules, and at the right angle they are centrosomes. In the cell there are two centrosomes, and they are responsible for nuclear division for making the spindle threads. And centriole and centrosome are only present in animal cells. Next, the chloroplasts have a main function, that is to carry out photosynthesis. Chloroplast structure consists of thylakoids. Sheets of thylakoids is called grana, and then the stroma, the fluid-like structure, and also the chloroplasts have also a double membrane like mitochondria. Next, it's the cell walls. The cell walls are a relatively hard structure, unlike the cell membrane. Cell walls are only found in plant cells like chloroplasts. One of its functions is to support an individual plant cell to become more rigid and to also protect them.
Okay, the endosymbiotic theory states that some of the organelles in the eukaryotic cells were once prokaryotic microbes. In this theory, the first eukaryotic cell was probably an amoeba-like cell that got nutrients by phagocytosis and contained a nucleus that formed when a piece of the cytoplasmic membrane pinched off around the chromosomes. Some of these amoeba-like organisms ingested prokaryotic cells that then survived within the organism and developed a symbiotic relationship. Mitochondria formed when bacteria capable of aerobic respiration were ingested. Chloroplasts formed when photosynthetic bacteria were ingested. They eventually lost their cell wall and much of their DNA because they were not of benefit within the host cell. Mitochondria and chloroplasts cannot grow outside their host cell. The evidence for this theory based on the following theory. The first one, chloroplasts are the same as prokaryotic cells, divide by binary fission, and like bacteria have VTS proteins at their division plane. The mitochondria are the same size as prokaryotic cells, divide by binary fission, and the mitochondria of some protists have VTS homologs at their division plane. The second one, mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own DNA that is circular, not linear. The third one, mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own ribosome that have 30S and 50S subunits, not 40S and 60S. The last one, several more primitive eukaryotic microbes such as Giardia and Trichomonas have a nuclear membrane but no mitochondria.
Prokaryotic cells are different from the eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotics come from two words, namely pro and karyot. Pro means before and karyot means nucleus. Prokaryotic cells don't have an inner membrane or what is known as nuclear membrane. An example of prokaryotic cell is bacteria. The structure of bacteria consists of cell walls, cell surface membrane, cytoplasm, circular DNA, ribosomes, capsule, plasmid, and pili.